Hello everyone, and welcome back to my FLUVAL SPEC fish tank setup series. Now, as you would have known in earlier series, this is a tank that I've got back, and I've had a sort of a redo of it. I made it into a little planted tank for a snail and some shrimps. And this is episode 6, which means shortly I'm going to be adding in some shrimp. Now, in the last episode, I added in my blue ramshorn snail. And just as I've started this video, he's disappeared. But he's been very active today. I'm sure by the time we've finished this video, he'll pop out of nowhere, as he usually does. I'm not actually sure where he is at the moment. As you can see, I've put in my shrimp feeder today just for a bit of a test run for positioning, etc. And I just thought today would be a good chance to start this episode off, talk a bit about the tank, and talk about what's going to be happening probably later this week. Now, I haven't really had the last episode I sort of generally covered the tank, but I'd like to talk a little bit more about the plants that I've had and what's been going on with the tank itself. So this episode might be a little bit longer than the last ones. And in theory, I guess this will be the last episode for some time. I might do a sort of revisit to the tank in the future, which I guess in theory would be like an episode 7. Yeah, I'm not too sure how long I'll be setting this tank up for and keeping it running. Who knows, I may even give it away again. It does tend to happen. So yeah, I just want to speak about some of my plants, what's been going on with those. I've really loved my Cameroon moss. That's been going really great. It's just an absolutely gorgeous moss. I don't know if I can get some bit closer up, but these leaves are just so beautiful. Can't wait to see some shrimp crawling on them as well and going through all of this. It's just such a great addition to the tank. The snail has enjoyed going over it as well. He was just on it a bit earlier. As well as this little sprig of spiky moss, I believe it is, that I've had growing. So that was there's probably some still through this as well, as you can see. But initially, if you saw, I think it might have been episode 3, possibly. I took a little bit of a decent sprig of it and chucked it on this mesh, and it's really gone well. It's really spreading out and starting to come up a little bit, as you can sort of see there. So I did get rid of my other little small piece of mesh that had my Cameroon moss that I was growing on it, but it was growing fairly slowly and it was fairly sparse coverage, so I just decided to get rid of that and open up the space on the left for my shrimp feeder. As you can see, I've got that there. It's pretty simple. You just put the pellet in the top, it drops down into the dish there, and any leftover mess is easily cleaned up. So I just wanted to give it a bit of a test run today and make sure that I could fit it in there. Now I do have a lid for this tank, or otherwise I probably would set it up maybe about halfway. I am thinking about not having my lid on at all. The one reason why I had it right to the bottom is I did have it a little bit higher, but I was worried the snail might get stuck underneath. And of course at this height I can still put the lid on, so that's still going to be a little bit of a rethink, I think. But yeah, I may in the end have it sort of set up a lot higher, and then obviously the top's going to stick out there. I guess in theory I could cut it a bit shorter, but for now I'm just going to leave it there in position. The crypt's going really well. It's just growing and growing and growing. It's probably much too large for the pot now, but it seems to be sort of spreading out of the pot now, so I think it's probably going to be okay. I don't think it's definitely not struggling. It's got heaps of new growth all the time. Actually, I could probably trim off some of these older leaves, but the snail is enjoying going over those and cleaning them, and I guess I'll give more biofilm for the shrimp when they're in there. Now this corner, a fair while back, I did have some plants growing in it, But as you can see, it's quite dark, and they did struggle. So that is now sort of more of an emptier corner. I was thinking about putting in like a little piece of volcanic rock or something just to grow some biofilm on, and I still actually may do that. I'm just not sure of how it will look in the tank, but that could be something that I add in just to give the shrimp a little bit more food and somewhere to muck around on. The bacopa is going really good now. Initially I had sort of a lot of die off of the leaves. I think as you remember from previous episodes, it was quite large. It was sort of up closer to the top of the tank. So I cut the ends off that were going quite well and replanted them, and ever since then they've been going really well. They've actually had quite a growth spurt lately. There's a lot of new growth shooting at the top there. The snail also enjoys crawling over those. I really like the look of bacopa. It's sort of like a bamboo-ish kind of looking body and the nice leaves, and it's a really nice colour in the tank. It's actually one of the plants I've had success with before and also been unsuccessful before. So it's one of those plants that yeah, I really like, and seems to be going really well this time. Now the vel has come back pretty good. Initially I had a lot of vel in the tank. I had a lot of die off, and didn't really seem to suit the tank very well, so I just kept the runners and I replanted those sort of down in the corner here. See if I can come around the side here, and it's going really well now. It's getting a lot of new growth, and it's actually shooting off some runners in itself, and yeah, it's getting nice and tall, and that's going to have some really good biofilm on it. And again, the snail has enjoyed, well, he's really enjoyed crawling over everything, but yeah, has enjoyed going across the vel as well. Now my well, I'm going to call it driftwood in the middle. That's good now. It's growing a little bit of algae and stuff like that on it, which will be a good food source. The snail goes all over that. I've got the cholla wood, which the snail has absolutely loved. I'm actually surprised he's not coming to, he might actually be on that now. I'm surprised he's not come to the front on that now. He's been on that a lot. My almond leaf is down the bottom there. It's become quite soft. I tried to actually move it a little bit, could have been a couple of days ago, or maybe even yesterday. It's really soft now, and I think that's going to be quite easily consumed. And last, but definitely not least, is the ambulia. Now this plant has absolutely gone nuts. I've got all the new little offcuts that I planted going really well here. It's covered up all the back, come right to the surface, of course. And yeah, I've got a lot of new shoots at the bottom as well. I've had to cut this back many times already, and every time you cut it back, you can see there it's got offshoots more little parts. So I've actually got some offcuts in the top of the filter there, which is where I put my offcuts just to suck up any excess, you know, ammonia, etc. I always put my offcuts up there, and then when I have some new offcuts, I replace those ones. I still have a couple of little floating plants in the back there, which are going well, just to sort of help clean the water a little bit. But yeah, really happy with all the plants I've got now. It's almost the perfect combination. I do put in still a little bit of my plant food, which I will grab here for you again. That's what I'm using, Low Tech Complete. Just a few drops of that every time I do a water change. And I've also started using, I can never remember the name, AquaVitro, that's it. Some of this AquaVitro KH carbonate stuff for plants, and I think that's really helped the bacopa grow since I've been using this. And it's raising my KH a little bit, which is good, and my pH, which is one issue I've had with this soil, the FLUVAL soil. It definitely drops your pH and KH down, sort of sucks that down. So I'm just trying to experiment a little bit at the moment and trying to get that up, my KH up to at least like 1 or 2. Beforehand it was 0. my pH was quite low, but probably acceptable. But yeah, just sort of seeing how that works. I may keep using it just for the plants, if nothing else, because yeah, I think the plants seem to be doing better with the added potassium in the tank. And there's the snail there. I don't know if I can get a better... I'm going to attempt to zoom in here. Some of my footage gets a bit shaky when I zoom in, as yeah, I'm not the most stable holder of the camera phone when it's zoomed in. But yeah, he's been going really well. Absolutely loved having him in the tank. I love the colour of his shell and the black body. It looks so great in amongst all the green. We're really looking forward. Hopefully he's going to, or she, he/she, is going to lay some eggs, and I'm going to have plenty more of them. And I'm hoping to perhaps, yeah, just start maybe selling them, just to, yeah, give people some more blue ramshorns out there. Of course, they'll only be in my local area, but they are reasonably hard to find here in Melbourne. I'm going to zoom back out. You can find the red ones reasonably easy, but the blue ones seem to be quite rare. I've only actually seen them, I think, maybe, well, once in the last 10 years or something in my local fish shops. Not that I particularly really look at snails. I'm an African keeper, so I pretty much, when I go into shops, I only look at the African stuff. So I might have missed them quite easily. And I know there's other varieties out there, pink, leopard, blue leopard. Actually, the blue leopards was what I was going to buy online, but the online shop that I was going to buy them from, I had a bit of a bad experience trying to buy something off them as a test buy before I was going to spend quite a bit of money with them. So I'm not going to be using those again. I won't mention the name of them, but yeah, they're quite a predominant online seller through Instagram. But yeah, I've been really happy with the way the tank's going. I've got some, of course, my shrimp food here ready to go. That's the complete. And I've got some of the, I believe it might be called calcium, more calcium-based one coming as well. From, I think I bought it on eBay. Through the buyer that I've bought a few things off. It's really good price. So yeah, definitely check out eBay and Amazon if you're looking for stuff for your tanks. You can find really good deals, free shipping, etc. So what are my plans for the future, besides obviously adding in shrimp shortly? I think I'm definitely going to be trimming back this ambulia very hard. I'm going to trim it, I think, right back to almost where it initially was, at the sort of the rear section of the tank, just to get a little bit more light in. And cut off some of these older growths which have a bit of algae on them. So yeah, I'm probably going to cut that back reasonably hard, and that'll allow all these shoots that I planted and all these new growth ones to come up and be a little bit bigger. But I just love how green this tank looks, coming from the African keeping world where everything is rock and the fish are really the attraction. This tank is very relaxing. When I go to my African tank, my fish just go crazy. They're very aggressive and always hungry, always fighting and trying to breed. And while it is relaxing, and I love my Africans, I have for many years, and I always will, they're my favourite fish. This tank has been so much fun to set up because it's just so relaxing. You know, you've just got a little bit of flow, the plants are swaying, it's nice and quiet. There's no fish fighting for your attention. And then now it's got obviously the snail. Yeah, it's just a super relaxing tank, and it's so fun. It really has been fun to set this tank up. Years ago, of course, I had many planted tanks. Obviously not with Africans. But yeah, I used to have quite a few planted tanks and really enjoyed it. But this is the first time I've sort of set up a nano style planted tank, so it's been quite interesting, but it's been a lot of fun. Really loved it, and highly recommend it as just something different and a bit of fun to do to everyone out there. I think if you've got the space, and you know, it doesn't cost a great deal to set up a tank like this. Luckily I had a lot of the stuff already, But yeah, it's been just a lot of fun. Now, how fun it's going to be after I get some shrimp, I'm hoping it's going to be even more fun. I have kept shrimp before, but not in a serious way. So I'm hoping that the shrimp are going to be happy in here and breed, and everything is going to go well, and I'm going to be even happier than what I am now. Of course, you hear a lot of stories about people trying to keep shrimp, and oh, they always die, and you know, when they're replacing their shells, etc. Oh, there's a cool little. Don't know if I can get him here. No, he's gone. Cool little creature swimming around. Yeah, you do hear a lot of bad stories about people struggling to keep shrimp. So hopefully everything is going to go well. But yeah, I've been very happy, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey of setting the tank up again and going through all the episodes with me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really have. But yeah, I'm now ready to move on to the next stage, which is adding in my shrimp, which is the whole reason, really, why I set this tank up in the first place. So I'm going to leave you now, and we're going to fast forward in time. And similar to when I got my snail, I'm going to give you guys a quick look at them in the bag, and I'm going to drip acclimatize them. It's a bit tongue-tied there. And then we're going to put them in and have a look at them. Then I'll do some footage at the end, just of the shrimps, like I did with the snail in the last episode. Having quite a bit of trouble today zooming this phone in. And that will probably be it for the series. Now, like I said, I might come back to it in the future. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, for now I'm going to leave you, and the next time you see me, we will have some cool little cherry shrimp. Okay, welcome back. As you can see here, I have a little jar. I'm just going to give you a quick look at the blue ramshorn there, but trust, as soon as I start recording, he's heading off. As you can see here, I have just picked up my shrimps. Now, I've picked up 6 red cherry shrimps just for starters, to see how they go, and all things going well, I might pick up a few more, but I think 6 is a pretty good starting amount. The snail's really going to work there on the moss. As usual, I've spilt water everywhere. Now, one of these females here, it's that one of them has a lot of eggs, which is great. Pretty much got 3 males and 3 females, but that doesn't concern me. Oh, there you go. That doesn't concern me too much. All that concerns me really is I'm going to drip acclimatize these guys and put them in, and I want them to be happy and healthy and survive. That's the most important thing to me. Right now, the snail's been going great. Tank's been going good. I've got my shrimp foods ready. I think there's plenty of food in the tank for them as well, and of course I've got my feeder in there. So yeah, pretty excited about this. I did have an incident coming back from the aquarium shop where someone decided to cut me off, and I had to slam on my brakes. So I'm hoping that the shrimps are okay, because they got really shook up. Of course, the one time I have some shrimps in the car, someone decides to not look and pull out in front of me. Luckily I was going pretty slow, but I'm pretty pretty stressed. If they all survive, geez, they are tough, because they were quite shaken up, as was I. And of course, yeah, like I said, of all the luck, it's the time that I have some shrimp in the car. I was nearly in an accident. So just see if I can quickly get you a bit of vision of the snail there. He's having a bit of fun, as usual, cleaning off the tank. Hopefully he's laid, or he/she, has laid some eggs somewhere in there, because I'd really love some more blue ramshorns. I don't really want to buy any more at this stage, but I am tempted to buy another one, because he's done such a great job cleaning the tank. But anyway, I'm going to drip acclimatize these guys and put them in, so the next time I'm with you, we'll have some shrimp in the tank. Okay, well, before I put them in, I just thought I'd give you a look at my little drip system. So yeah, I've just got a little suction cup there running in with a little valve and dripping some water in. So I'm going to give them about 20 minutes or so and put them in. pretty excited about this moment. This tank's finally going to come to life. Well, more to life. But yeah, the whole reason behind me setting this up was to get some shrimp. So very excited. And someone else is pretty excited. They've come to join me today. So yeah, we're both pretty excited about what's happening. Okay, the shrimp are in now. One is right at the front here in my Cameroon moss. Of course my phone's not going to focus in on him. But having a good little ride there. I've got one over on the right there. They're all actually quite spread out now. Was one on the pot. There's one inside the plant. So unfortunately it's not very good footage at the moment because they've all scattered. But yeah, pretty happy. They seem to be pretty happy, pretty active and mobile. Of course, if I try and get in here, it's not going to focus, is it? Oh, there we go. Hey, he's enjoying a bit of the Cameroon moss there. What I might do later on is put in a little bit of food, see if I can get them all gathering together in one spot. Maybe even the snail might join them. I've got one here now. Okay, that's a little bit better. Not sure if I can focus in. Oh yeah. So yeah, they seem to be pretty happy. They're certainly not trying to jump out or anything that I can tell. So yeah, hopefully soon I can chuck in a bit of food at the end of this video and get you a bit of footage, a little bit better footage of them. But my mission is now complete. I have a shrimp tank with shrimp actually in it. So yeah, it's a very happy day for me. This tank has been a while in the setup. It's probably been close to 3 months now since I first sort of got the tank back and started setting it up. I've got all my shrimp goodies now, which should keep them fed and looked after. Hopefully the water parameters are to their liking. I think they should be. I guess one of the big tests will be a first water change. As shrimp are known to sort of suffer a little bit from water parameters changing, so hopefully I've got my water changes down pat. I have been sort of trying that and getting the parameters as consistent as possible after water changes. So we'll see what happens. Okay, I've got another little shrimp on the side there. That's one of the ones with eggs, I think, yeah. But thank you for coming on this journey with me. I know it's been, I think this is the 6th episode now. It's been a few episodes there. And if you haven't seen them, yeah, below in the description, you'll find a link to each of the episodes. And in each episode, it's sort of something a little bit different. As I progressed from sort of first setting it up to the point now where I've actually got some shrimps in there. And it's been so much fun. Those of you that have checked out my channel previously will know I'm predominantly African cichlid keeper. So having a tank all planted and a little bit calmer and more relaxed as compared to those fish has been a great experience. And it's great just to set up a smaller tank as well. My other tank is quite large, so it's been a lot of fun to set up another small tank. I guess you could still class it as a nano tank. You've got some activity on the moss there. And yeah, it's just been so much fun. I highly recommend it. You know, it doesn't cost a lot to set up a tank like this. And luckily I did have a lot of the equipment beforehand. Of course, I already had the tank itself, the heater, etc. But yeah, it's been so much fun, and I hope I can keep the shrimp in here successfully and breed them along with the blue ramshorn snail. That would make me very happy. yeah, so we'll see how it goes, see how it progresses. Now I may do a video in the future, which is just sort of an update video on how they're going, and no doubt we'll have a little bit of footage on my channel of the shrimp themselves. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the series and enjoyed this episode. Very excited to finally have some shrimp in there. That's really cool to see them mucking around and foraging. Hopefully there's plenty of biofilm and stuff in there, but yeah, I do have shrimp food as well, of course, which is my Shrimp King, which I will add in soon, and maybe get some footage of them all feeding together. But please, yeah, feel free to check out the rest of my channel. I do have other aquarium videos, as well as just some of my other hobbies that I'm into. And I hope I'll catch you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with some footage just of the shrimps themselves. Bye for now.